Welcome to Explore Analytics. Today we're going to look at a topic of how you can get more fine-grained and detailed incident or other trend reports against your ServiceNow data. Now, some organizations have such a volume of incidents or calls that they want to be able to report at the hourly or quarter-hourly level. And ServiceNow doesn't have the capability to do that, but we can do that using an Explore Analytics real-time report. So the way that we do this is by running a query to ServiceNow to gather the incidents that we need in real time, and then building a report on top of that. That's something that we call in Explore Analytics a composite view, and it allows you to use calculations that ServiceNow doesn't support by default. So here I have my list of incidents by hour, and I'm keeping all the pieces of information in the list that I'm going to need later to report on, and I'm filtering it down to the last 3 days. For hourly, or quarter hour, you're not going to want more than a few days of data because it's going to be extremely crowded in terms of the number of data points. I mean, think you have 24 hours in a day, multiply that by 4 for the quarter hour, so you can see that you really only need the last few days of data. So in order to turn this into a trend by the quarter hour or hour, I just go to the menu and I say I'd like to create a new composite view on this view, and we'll call this by hour timeline, incidents by hour timeline. And now we have this report that is as if it was the table of incidents that we ran, and now I can pull this into a timeline. And rather than grouping by something like year, I can actually now just select hour or quarter hour. So you can see that I have here the data points by hour by quarter hour. Now, one thing that'll help make this look a little bit better is if I check off to say display categories with no data, right? Right now it's only showing the data points for the hours that we had data. Here I have a lot of data points where, none came in. Obviously, if you're a more high volume shop than my demo environment, you're going to probably see less of the 0 data points. But here it's much easier for me to see, at 9 p.m. I got an incident, at 10 p.m. I didn't, at 11 p.m. I did. Now that I have this timeline that's at the hour or quarter hour, again, it really just took 2 clicks to get here to have this trend in real time, but all of the reporting capabilities that Explore Analytics has at its fingertips are available to me. So one great thing I can do is a mashup view. So we'll call this incidents and changes by hour timeline, and we're going to combine together 2 of these different timelines together in one report. So here's my incidents by hour timeline, and let's put together with changes by hour timeline. So now Explore Analytics is running both of these queries in real time, and I can see, let me merge the y-axes so that they're the same, and let me do a combo chart so that the changes will be bars. I can see the number of incidents and the number of changes kind of side by side in this report. Again, in a more high volume, the lines will be a little bit more smooth, but you can see that it's very easy for me to see, when a number of changes is followed immediately by a high number of incidents in that great way. Again, this capability to be able to very easily use all of the capabilities of Explore Analytics lets you really get some advanced use cases. So here's a more advanced use case that's using these hourly calls. So here is a pivot that's mashing up together the number of calls by hour opened. It's using the same technique as we saw for incidents. And I can see in real time, here's the number of calls that we got today broken down by hour, mashed up with the average over the last 30 days of calls by hour. So what this is basically saying is that on a typical day at 1 a.m., we would get 12 and a half calls, give or take. But today we've had 40. And with the calculations, the mashup calculations, I can actually turn this into a percentage here that's telling me, oh, wow, this is more than 2 times as many incidents than we would typically see at this day, all the way up until real time. And this is color-coded red because obviously if we're seeing something that's a huge increase, we want people to know, hey, something has gone wrong today. This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you want, you can see more information on all the capabilities we have around mashup or calculations in our other videos, but hopefully you can see that in a quick way you can do some hourly or quarter hourly reports with just some quick drag and drops using Explore Analytics.